Deion played with the Cowboys for 5 years. He was on the last Dallas team to win a championship.
Yeah.
Is America's team missed in this year's Super Bowl prime?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
What America wanted was the Dallas Cowboys versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Not the Patriots?
Not the Patriots.
Huh.
That's what America wanted. Now, this is the only problem I have with the Dallas Cowboys and its fans and the media personalities, even you two.
Me?
And you.
You better be careful.
When the Dallas Cowboys are losing, you guys so eloquently blame everything on Jerry Jones. The personnel, the meddling, quarterback situation.
No, don't try to be that.
But tell me this.
Number one hater.
When the Dallas Cowboys are winning, you quick to give the responsibility to everyone else. You don't give it to Jerry. Well, how does he get the blame when you're losing, but you don't credit him when they're winning?
Hold on, I got this. You have insulted me beyond comprehension. You supposed to be my boy as much as we talk, and you gonna sit up there and say that? Prime time, you know what I say all the time. You on that squad. The playmaker was on that squad. Emmett, Troy. I love y'all. I can't stand the fan base because the Dallas Cowboy fans are the most disgusting, nauseating, delusional fan base in history. That is what I say. I do not blame Jerry Jones. I blame the fan base because they could go 3-13, wake up the next day and sit there. We gonna win next year. You know that, right? And they've been saying it for 21 years.
But you know why?
21 years.
You know why
and you let them off the hook.
You know why they say that? Because Jerry Jones is a professional and constant marketer. He's the only owner.
You applaud
He's the only owner that makes and has his team and the fan base to believe.
He markets, but he doesn't win. He hasn't won. Listen, you didn't just have here. You had Jerry Curls last time y'all won. I mean, come on. You had Jerry Curls. Jerry Curls.
Long time.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey. It looked wet, but it was dry.
Hey, look, Deion, you give credit where credit's due, and he's got to take blame. When he forced the salary cap through and then turned around and in the same day said, we just signed Deion Sanders, and all the owners said, how do you figure you just argued for the salary cap? Well, you know, it's a bonus structure. It's spread out over these years. That was genius. He got credit for being a great owner. You go 20-plus years without a chip, then guess what? You get criticized. And you can't help but to notice the correlation between Stephen Jones starting to make more and more decisions about personnel.
How do you say Stephen Jones did that?
It was widely reported when they started drafting offensive linemen.
Because I want to get into Edelman.
I'm not buying that. You give Jerry the blame, but you don't give him the credit.
Give him the credit when he deserved it.
He should deserve it right now. The team is on the up. The team is on the up.
Let's move on. You so eloquently stated earlier, this is First Take, and you always have a strong take on everything. And you had a strong take on Julian Edelman not getting the proper credit that he deserves. Can you please elaborate for us?
Julian Edelman, over the last several years, has been probably the most productive receiver, arguably the most productive receiver, statistically the most productive receiver in the NFL. Julian Edelman comes to play. Julian Edelman runs routes. He plays inside the numbers, outside the numbers. Julian Edelman blocks. He does everything you want a receiver to do, yet and still he's not mentioned amongst the best, yet and still he's not compensated amongst the best. Why is that? It is my intention to believe maybe because he's Caucasian.
You know what? Hold on. You're not off base there, because I said the same thing at Christian McCaffrey in college, not last year, but the year before.
That's right.
There's no question. There can be reverse discrimination just because some dude ain't a brother. You thinking he can't play when in fact he can play. The white brother can play. But in the case of Julian Edelman, one must ask the question: is it because he's Caucasian? Or is it because he has Tom Brady? Because if Tom Brady makes anybody look that great, then why are you going to give Edelman an elevated level of love?
I was hoping you said that because now validates my case of Tom Brady being the best quarterback in the country, in the NFL, preferably ever. I just wanted you to go down that path, and you so productively went down that road. I want to thank you, Stephen A., for what you just contributed.
Well, you know what? Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
I like to say that. I respect his point of view, but at the same time, even though I like Jordy Nelson, is Jordy Nelson better than Julian Edelman?
No. Hold on. Time out. Back up.
Because you
can't have it both ways.
I'm only asking a question because if Jordy Nelson ain't better than Edelman, look how Jordy Nelson looked with Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball. Why are you trying to dismiss Aaron Rodgers while elevating Brady? Why don't you make up your mind?
That's a wonderful comeback, but
Yes.
You can't get off that train, Stephen A. I got you, baby.
Which is it, prime time? Which is it? Is it that Brady, you just said earlier in the show, he said, you come and play, and make them all good. Now you're saying Edelman's a baller. So which is
Edelman is a baller.
Okay.
Edelman is a flat-out baller.
Doesn't have to be one of the
Brady is a baller. I'm not going to say, I will say they complement one another.
Right.
But they're not elevating each other's game because they're flat-out ballers. If you take Edelman out of New England, he still will ball.
Quick question.
Right. So it's not exactly like Brady just goes you, and you. He's got him. He's got Gronk. He had Randy Moss. He's got a lot of guys.
Quick question. Max and I have debated this on several occasions. When we talk about Tom Brady, how much credit do you give Belichick for the greatness we have witnessed from Tom Brady? Or is it the other way around for you, where Belichick is elevated in terms of his greatness because of Tom Brady?
I think they're both complementary. I can't say either, and I don't think we should be forced to say either, because Tom Brady is Tom Brady. What I mean by this, great players, you could take them off, like LeBron. You could take him off any situation, put him in that situation. He's going to elevate not only the team, the whole city. Tom Brady is that type of guy. Bill Belichick is that type of guy. But yet and still, Bill Belichick has had Tom Brady and some wonderful coordinators as well. I've never seen Bill Belichick call one play offensively. Or ever heard of him calling one play offensively. Defensively, yes, but not offensively. Tom Brady's an offensive guy, so you got to separate the two in some sort of fashion.
I want to get back to Edelman for a second, because I think there's a difference between the kind of soft bigotry of low expectations and reverse discrimination, or what people say reverse racism, which implies a power structure that limits opportunity based on race. That's not the NFL when it comes to white players. If there aren't a lot of white running backs or receivers at an elite level, that's on those players not getting it done. When they do get it done, they have to be whether or not they're recognized as elite, they succeed in those roles. And there's a difference between that and, let's say, what happened to black quarterbacks once upon a time, which was a power structure not allowing them the opportunity. Warren Moon convert to a receiver, you can't even play the position. That's not what's happening with Edelman. What I think you're talking about is people don't fully recognize how good he is, but he has the opportunity. He's still out there getting paid, winning Super Bowls, balling.
Yeah, but not paid at the rate that he would normally be compensated, yet and still. They don't give him the credit or the credibility that he deserves. Julian Edelman can put in work. One of the key matchups of this game is going to be Julian Edelman in the slot. It ain't no answer for Julian Edelman. It's no way to deal with him. The guy is a route specialist. It's no way to deal with him. So, therefore, if he were of the other ethnicity, I think we would make more of a statement that, man, this guy is an Antonio Brown. This guy has the like of a Julio Chains. Statistically, pull it up if you got time. Meander through your phone, because all of you have one.
You got Edelman there with Antonio Brown?
Statistically, Julian Edelman puts up numbers.
He don't put up Antonio Brown numbers.
He ain't putting up Antonio Brown numbers. But I got the numbers right here. I'm just telling you right now. The numbers are right here.
Are you saying he's Antonio White?
You're looking at Julian Edelman. He had 105 receptions in 2013. He had 92 in 2014. He got hurt, had 61 in 9 games in 2015. He had 98 this year. Now, statistically, this year, the 98 is comparable to about the 101, 102 Antonio Brown had. But remember, the 2 previous years, Antonio Brown had 136. He had 128.
But Julian Edelman hear that they're comparable. Jason
Sehorn was an excellent corner, and he was a white guy. He wasn't Deion Sanders. I mean, he just wasn't. It has nothing to do with his race.
That is not a good comparable right there, Max.
Right.
And I said this last week, you don't compare a moment to a monument. This is a monument you're looking at right here, buddy.
So is Antonio Brown.
Yeah, Antonio Brown, the numbers are comparable when you look at it because we have Gronk to deal with and contend with as well. When you talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers,
you don't have another pass catcher like that, like Gronk.
Is that guy.